Could you use the medical gloves instead of the mechanics ones? That would be great. Hello and welcome to the Part-Time Gamers, the gaming podcast for people with full-time lives. I'm Cernex, clocking in with my good friends 9 of 12.
How ya doing?
And that one weirdo.
Just remember, folks, there's only 45 shopping days left till Christmas. That's a month and a half to disappoint your family members.
Accurate. Very accurate. Yeah, it's... So... quick tangent in the regards to holidays and such. So my rule of thumb is 1 month beforehand or just the day prior or day after the previous holiday. So I'm not going to be starting to do, like, I don't condone Christmas stuff until the day after Thanksgiving. So there's this one comedian named Mike Birbiglia. One of his segments.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
One of his specials, he has this whole thing where he's talking about how his wife and his kid have this really strong relationship with each other and how they're like, you know, all that thing. And he says this phrase, "And I was there too," which has become a common thing in my family that we say. But I feel that's what Thanksgiving says when it comes to the other holidays. It's like you go, because everyone loves Halloween, everyone loves Christmas, and they just kind of bypass Thanksgiving. And I can just see it like the turkey just sitting there going, "And I was there too." Anyway, so
It's
that
a big meal.
but it's a
I'm
good
big
meal.
on Thanksgiving because I love to cook.
Well, that too, yeah.
It's-
Thanksgiving is the first time one of my kids didn't come home for Thanksgiving. Was the one that I cried about.
Oh, yeah. I mean, typically I like Thanksgiving as well because my grandma cooks. It's like we get maybe 10, 15 people there and she cooks enough food for about 60. And we have leftovers for like the next 3 days afterwards. It's great.
That was my grandma.
Yeah.
She, I just always asked her, I'm like, do you have the Sri Lankan army on like speed dial? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
she's like, nope, not anymore. They cut me off. I'm like, wait, what don't I know?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the food. We'll see how well the family goes, but yeah. With that,
And you don't have all the disappointment of people getting you stuff you didn't want or nothing
true.
at all.
Yeah.
Or, present pressure.
I mean,
Yeah, but
unless
the family shows up. That's disappointment enough. Oh, you did it. You said your back went out. And
I
here
haven't
you
lived-
are.
I haven't lived
With-
near family in over 20 years, so I'm good.
yeah.
With ambrosia salad again that nobody eats because it's really weird. As a matter of fact, it almost looks like vomit after a child had yogurt.
That's very specific and very accurate. Yeah, like thankfully my grandma always makes the mainstays like turkey, ham, like the few things that I don't eat are like the deviled eggs, which my dad would riot if there weren't any there. But anyway. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and jump into our water cooler talk.
You get that thing I sent you?
There it is.
See, I told you we still have
Ambrosia salad.
I told you we still have that sound effect. All right,
Okay.
September, let's go ahead and jump into your article about how Nintendo is disappointing us yet again.
Yeah. Oh, sure. You gotta bury. I was burying the lead, Sean. You blew it. Because the big headline was like, a Nintendo Direct announcement was shadow dropped, and like, there's gonna be a Nintendo Direct tomorrow, but it's gonna be about the park.
Yeah.
I gotta wonder, like, maybe. I gotta hold out hope. I'm gonna tune in. The teaser's gonna work. Maybe we'll get the surprise we want. Been waiting for that they announced that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
That I talked about last time. Maybe we'll get our damn Switch announcement. Because I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, because Christmas is already close enough, and they don't want to lose those sales. I guess. Would it change anything though? You know, because they could announce it, and then announce like a drop for the one for people that like aren't going to be able to afford the new one anyway, but could go ahead and get themselves one. This console has lasted this long.
Yeah.
So, I mean, go ahead. The games aren't going anywhere, especially with the online stuff. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'm going to hold out hope that, you know, maybe they're listening and do something smart like that. Because it can't be that the 2 doesn't exist and isn't coming soon.
I mean,
but I watched some stuff about the park before, and it's nifty and cool, and I look forward to, you know, I'll enjoy watching some stuff about it despite the frustration about what we wanted this announcement to be.
Yeah.
And why did they shadow drop the announcement about a Nintendo Direct anyway? It's all a little weird. I don't know what they're on over there. They're being weird. Although they had another announcement today, right? Because not Brotherhood. Oh no. Now I've got Mario and Luigi in Full Metal Alchemist in my head. And
I play that game.
That crossover would be amazing, actually.
Yeah.
If I could draw, if there's an artist out there,
send it as send it as a drawing prompt to Scott Johnson.
I don't know if he's ever watched Full Metal Alchemist. Actually, he doesn't like anime. I know Carter has suggested it to him, but I don't think he's
suggest
seen
it to Carter. Then she'd probably do it.
No, Carter might do it. If I had money, I would commission that from Carter. I'm not going to ask for free art. It's not how I do.
True.
But anyway, yeah. So that's the crazy Nintendo-y things. Let me see, 2 p.m. Pacific. So I don't know, 4 or 5 Eastern. I'll be.
Yeah, Pacific it would be
keeping an eye
5 o'clock
on Twitch
Eastern. Yeah. So they did, from what I've heard, they have confirmed a couple things about the Switch 2. Whenever they decide to when it's going to drop, they have said that it is going to be backwards compatible. That like your digital purchases from the original Switch will be accessible on the Switch 2, which is great. I mean that goes a long way right there. But you know, there is going to be at least that we know of. Whenever they decide to announce when it's actually coming out, whenever that is, I don't know. I'm hoping it's before the end of the year or at least early next year because, again, I've been considering getting it for my daughter. But we'll see.
But it was supposed to be the middle of October, right? So I don't know.
They said before the end of their fiscal year, which again is in March.
Oh, right. But no.
Of 2028.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, the park is cool, I guess, somewhere else that I will likely never be able to afford to go to. So cool. Thanks.
Never say never. I'm getting you scratch offs for Christmas. I can afford those.
I would prefer just large
all our fingers.
Yeah, I would just prefer just large unmarked bags of money. That'd be great.
Well, I can't afford that.
True.
I can afford $1 and a dream, Derek.
Yeah, that is also true.
There's a DC Comics world in Singapore, and I still got my heart set on seeing that someday.
Yeah.
Because it is pretty cute.
Yeah.
Why they put it in Singapore? Who knows?
Laws, I'm sure. Maybe. I don't
Tax
know.
laws, probably.
Yeah, more than likely. Probably because of money, like everything else.
Yes.
All right. Theo, let's go ahead and get into your somber article.
Unfortunately, it is somber. It's a bit of postmortem. And no, nothing really engaged with DC or Ubisoft. So Tony Todd, who many know as, he was technically Death, the Grim Reaper in Final Fantasy, Final Destination. It was Candyman, which the first one is so amazing. It's like an art house horror movie. And so many things he had been associated with: The Crow, The Rock, Star Trek, DC, Marvel. He was the voice of Venom
Yeah.
in the Spider-Man that just came out, which I've played for PS5, and it's fantastic. And of course, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
After a long bout of illness, he has passed at the age of 69, and found this out Friday, and this was kind of one of those that hit me over the head, because it's very much the case of, oh, you know, when people die, it's like, it's a shock, but it's like, well, we're all mortal. But it's also like when you have some kind of connection or connective tissue. And it was on Friday, and I was literally just sitting there, and basically, he was here at FanX in 2019, and I got to meet him.
Yeah, I noticed you posted that
Absolutely.
picture.
It is.
Mm.
I can honestly say, you know, people talk about, and I've seen it many times over, some of these people that I've met who have played some of the most vile, scariest, you know, frightening villains on screen or in games or in animation. And then you meet them, and I've met many at cons, and they're absolutely delightful. And it's like, why? You know, and for many people, it's really obviously the hand they've dealt them. But the guy who plays like Littlefinger, or played Littlefinger on Game of Thrones, he's done cons, and he is absolutely wonderful. Everybody says, and they're like, "Why are you not a horrible person?" And he's like, "Well, because they pay me to be a horrible person when the camera's on. But other than that." But in the case of Tony Todd, that was all too true. Absolutely delightful. I took a picture with him. So that picture I took, I got to meet him, and I said, you know, because that was one of those, he was literally like bucket list. So it was like, you know, you've been a part of like just horror, video games, and so many things for me so long. Absolutely delightful.
Where's
They
the
had issues
picture?
with the
I
camera,
didn't
so I
see
was there
it.
for a few minutes. We talked
Yeah.
about like Hawaii.
Yeah, I think
I
the
didn't hear you,
picture
Sean.
he posted, it was in one of the Discord channels, I think.
Oh, okay.
I missed it.
Yeah, he was the best. Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
in Travis's. And they talked about the rest in peace, and I think I posted a picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, great picture.
Yeah.
We were there for a few minutes because they were having issues with the camera, and he talked about how he got to do a few shows in Hawaii, and one in particular was Hawaii 5-0, and he goes, "I was supposed to be there 3 days. I was there 25 days."
Oh, wow.
And he goes, "And I got paid for it." And he goes, "Do you know what I did most of the time?" He goes, "I literally sat out on, you know, where the land is right before you get to sand and the beach." And he goes, "I just sat out there and go, wow." Like he said, just for days. He goes, and you know, I'd sit in my trailer, but ultimately I'd go out and talk, you know, and just be out there. And then I talked to him later at his table, and then when he was leaving, he didn't have an entourage. So if you went up to him and asked him to sign something, he would have done it. If you
Yeah.
asked him to take a picture or just like have a conversation with him, absolutely delightful. Everybody who's met him, one of the Facebook pages I'm on, you know, a lot of people posted pictures meeting him, and they're like, absolutely the sweetest and just so kind and so awesome. He actually had canceled doing some cons because of his illness,
Mm.
and he just wanted to be home and just passed in peace with his family around him, which we can all,
Yeah.
I mean, we all just want that when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
But such a huge figure in horror and genre and entertainment, and there's not going to be another one like him. And he
Yeah.
was one of those great, oh, it's that guy. You know, when you see him, like he's going to up the ante on whatever he's in. So rest in power, Tony Todd. Like that one hit me kind of hard, still does,
Yeah.
because he was just so great.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that is like, I didn't recognize the name at first, but immediately when I saw the face, it's like, oh, it's that guy. Oh, yeah, I know who he is. I know like at least some, like
I
whole-
know most from Night Court. So
yeah. It's like, but actually, I'm pretty sure TMS might have had a hand in this because I do remember they mentioned him recently, specifically about how like the bee scene from Candyman, those are actual bees in his mouth.
Yes.
It's like they described he had like some kind of protective thing in his mouth, and they just put bees in there, and it's like they actually gave him like $1,000 bonus, I think it was, per bee sting he got from that scene. And it's like,
And he got $27,000.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not enough,
So-
but yeah,
No. Well, I mean, if you know it's not going to be fatal, but it probably hurt like heck. But I
Oh,
think
yeah.
once the swelling went down and the pain went away,
ugh,
he probably saw, that pay stub and probably felt a little better about it.
yeah,
But
The willpower
Yeah,
to act
and-
through it that way, though, instead of jumping or swatting
Yeah.
or screaming
yeah.
that's a lot, man. That's dedication.
I panic when I get a hair in my mouth. I can't imagine having like a handful of bees in there.
yeah. Yeah. Especially when you
Ugh.
rub up against something and it's not supposed to be on you and you're like, ah.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is literally living creatures with stingers designed for stinging. That's what they do. So protective layer or not, like, of course they're going to end up stinging him in his mouth. But
yeah,
he did get a little nice bonus for it. But there's been many tributes online, gaming platforms, about somebody who, like I said, made a mark. And even if you didn't know his name, but as soon as you saw him, it clicked and you went,
yeah,
him. So
yeah.
rest in power, good sir. You definitely made an impact on my world, and I mean that was even before I met the guy, and then even more so, I was like, he's probably in my top 5 of people I've met at Fenix. He was great.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. R.I.P. sir. And now I can relax and laugh because it was really hard. Because he died at
Yeah.
69 to not go, nice.
I saw
and then
that.
I'm like trying.
I had that little giggle moment.
I'm trying not to laugh, and then I look over at the article to try and somber up, and there's a big ad in the middle that says "Puff Puff Pass on driving high." I'm like, not helping.
I'm sure you're not the only person who has this line of thought as well. So
No,
yeah, but
nothing but serious and focused here, part-time gamers, my friends.
yeah, right.
And if you believe that, I will tell you nothing.
Yeah. Okay, but finish off this segment with my article. This is apparently someone actually in one of my friends' Discords that they run told me about this. I didn't know this was actually a thing, but on the heels of the widely regarded as successful Fallout series from Amazon Studios, looks like they're going to be going forward with making a Mass Effect series, which I thought would be kind of cool until I started reading parts of this article that describe the people involved, and it's less and less encouraging because like the writer is Daniel Casey, who until now has been best known as the primary screenwriter on F9: The Fast Saga.
Hey.
Yeah, a series that is well known for its stellar writing, of course. And it just kind of, there's some high parts and some definite low parts, like Ari Arad, who is a producer and was included on Borderlands and Uncharted. Yeah. And the live action version of Ghost in the Shell, which are, of course, all very poor examples of what you should do. Anyway. So it's,
Okay, but this producer, like from Daredevil, and Daredevil is freaking good.
yeah, I mean, that is one of the high points in this, but there's a lot of possibility for it to turn out not as good as it deserves. But I do appreciate that the picture, the caption on the picture of Garrus right there is like, honestly, we just watch a crime procedural with Garrus working for CSEC. I would love that. That would be amazing. Just make that. But it's going to be, it's difficult to think about what I would actually want out of a Mass Effect series. Because if it's one of the biggest problems with the Mass Effect series is it is so hyper-focused on Commander Shepard. It's like there is a massive world out there that you could go into, different species out there you can go into. And it's like they haven't explored that. They've exclusively gone with Commander Shepard and his or her role in this whole conflict. If they go along that lines again, and it's going to fall into the whole thing with the Halo series of how they're just trying to retell the same story in the games and doing it poorly. It's like it's not going to work as well, I think. But whereas like with Fallout, it's new part of the timeline, it's new characters, it's a new story being told that's connected to the games, but is still a separate story from the games. I think
so made it so great.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were able to get drawn into it because of the world, but we're still able to get new experiences because of the characters. I hope that's kind of the way they go with this, that they could include Commander Shepard, but I don't think it would be a good idea for the series to make Commander Shepard the lead. I think they need to like go in some other direction. But as far as I know, there hasn't been any announcements on when this is going to be made. They just, and apparently they've had the rights to this for at least a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's just because of the success of the Fallout series. They're kind of hoping to ride the coattails of that and maybe give it some kind of boost because of that. But I mean, we'll see. I can't say anything other than it's all prediction. All they've announced is that it's going forward and it's being made, but they haven't given any other details. So we'll see. We'll wait and see.
Fingers crossed, because Fallout turned out amazing.
Yeah.
Probably better than I would have expected. And part of what kind of like gave me a gee whiz moment is when I realized that Jonathan Nolan was the one that was heading it up and directing a lot of the episodes. He's the guy behind Person of Interest as well as Westworld.
Nice.
Yes, but he also is part of a lineage that does movies and TV very well, because you might have heard of his brother named Christopher.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's helpful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got some of that, bloodline going on. You might be all right.
Yeah.
And then Amazon's also done The Boys, which I still adore, and I feel like I have to wear a poncho every time I watch it because that stuff gets everywhere. And they got a final season coming up, hopefully next year. So that's a fact. I mean, there's a lot you can work with. It's just, and you bring up a real good point. It depends on the direction.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Well, like, again, it's just to kind of wait and see. But I don't know. Just Mass Effect is such a venerable and such a renowned series, at least the original trilogy. I mean, it's had ups and downs, but overall it's been very widely regarded as a success and very good storytelling. We'll just have to see where they take it. But
yep, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Anyways, before we get back to work, I'd like to mention our Patreon, patreon.com/PTGcast. If you like what you're hearing and like to help us out with our paychecks each month, you can go there, drop us $1, $5, $10. It all helps us, and it's all appreciated. So it's at patreon.com/PTGcast. And with that, let's go ahead and get back to work.
Morning break is over. Morning break is over.
So continuing on with our cozy games theme this month, we're going to be talking about Bear and Breakfast, which I just think is hilarious. You're like, so I do actually own this game. This a couple months ago. This was actually on one of the Epic Games free games that they offered, and so I haven't played it yet. I have watched gameplay of it, probably about 5 or so hours of it. And it is a very laid back game. There's no like real time constraints or anything like that, which is really, really helpful. And it's kind of cozy, which is nice. Developed by Gummy Cat. I love the name of that, Gummy Cat. Published by Armor Game Studios. It is $19.99 on Switch, PlayStation, and Windows via Steam and Epic. Again, I got it on Epic when it was free a couple months ago. It's a resort management game. It's basically what it comes down to. You're this bear named Hank, who starts off in his home in the forest, and your mom goes and, like, for whatever reason, all these animals are also bipedal. So he's, I love the animation in this game. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Just like seeing him wobble around and everything throughout the forest on two legs. It's hilarious.
Well, even the expressions on his face.
Yes. It's like, oh man, the art style in this is amazing. And it's,
He's a bit derpy.
yeah, which is just, it's
quite
hilarious.
derpy.
He's gullible. He's adorable. He's, surprisingly considerate considering he's a bear. But yeah, he gets asked by his mom to find, I think, mushrooms or something, some kind of plants.
Swamp? Something in the swamp.
Yeah. And-
Alligator grass or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But he's because of that, he's goes out further than he normally does, and goes out to this highway, and there just happens to be a truck or some kind of, it's actually like one of those big advertisement trucks or whatnot, and an inflatable shark. Because why not?
It's reality.
Yeah, but it's this inflatable shark. Yeah, Pon Voyage was the name of the company. And it's just literally an inflatable shark with an intercom on its chest. It starts talking to him and saying, "Hey, you can start making money, like an insignificant amount." Like, the way this shark talks, it's always a little bit condescending. So it's like, yes, you can do all this work and make an insignificant amount of money. Stuff like that. But it's like, yeah, you can turn that dinky shed over there into a resort and bring people in and get money from them, because people will pay to temporarily live in a dinky shed. And that's where it all starts. Is you get this building, you can set up the layout for it and everything. You have to figure out how do you want to manage the rooms, what kind of decorations and stuff like that you want. And this first shed is really small. Like, you can maybe fit like 4 small rooms in it at most, and go from there. But and that's where it starts. You start with that, and then gradually there is actually one thing I do really appreciate about this game is there are quests, there are story missions and stuff like that, objectives that you do throughout the game that open up new areas, that allow for get new artifacts or items you can unlock, and stuff like that. So I like the fact that it has that direction. That's not just go and build stuff. So, and that also, really helps with the pacing with the game as well, because the dinky shed is very simplistic. You only have to worry about 2 stats. You have to worry about comfort and decoration. And that's what your guests are looking for, is like trying to.
Yeah, you can still do like an outhouse with that one.
Yeah.
But later, things get a lot more complicated when you're building bigger resorts.
Yeah. But I like the fact that it steps that pace. So it starts you off very simple. It's like gives you the basics, like, okay, this is how you build a room. You put a bed and then dresser and stuff like that. It gives you an idea. It's like, okay, these are what the stats mean, and how to read the guest requests and stuff like that. It starts you off very simple, and then gradually you start unlocking. You start finding more people or other animals actually to help you out, and you start unlocking more areas and stuff like that. And eventually you start unlocking new resort locations. Like the next one is in a desert, and not only do you have the previous stats, but then you also have to worry about hygiene. So you have to build bathrooms. And that's a slightly different mechanic, where you have to put the bathroom actually has a radius of effect in there. So you have to have it like touching all of the rooms for it to affect them and everything. And then after that, you get
so funny. Like, if you don't have enough bathrooms close enough to the rooms, your hygiene goes down. Like,
Yeah.
so they just shit in their rooms. Like,
They drop They drop trash in their rooms, which actually is one of the currencies. So before we go a little bit further, like one of the things I really like about this is like you don't have to like build up like resources or anything out. Like literally, you just go out and gather stuff. It's like, and the thing is, like they respawn. So you're going over to like the same areas and picking up the same stuff each time. So you don't really have to search around for all this stuff. You're just going out and picking it up. Like trash is actually one of the currencies, although it's referred to as valuables in the game, because
the ones the raccoon is gathering.
Well, yes, exactly. It's like
smart trash panda.
Yeah. So yeah, because that's one of the stores is this. It's a dumpster that this raccoon is like gathering stuff in, and you give him trash to get like lamps and rugs and stuff like that out of him.
I think I've been in some of these hotels.
I wouldn't be surprised. But so and then it's like, so that's all. Like there's the resource gathering is pretty easy. You just go out and find it, and different areas have a little bit different resources to find. So it's like if you need to find something specific, you can pretty much just figure out like just intuit where it's going to be. Like if you need bricks, then you like those are mostly in the desert area. It's like if you need wood, it's in coincidentally the location called Sawdust, which is where the beaver construction crew lives.
What are the odds?
Yeah, exactly. But no, excuse me.
Goodness.
So, but I like the fact that it's paced pretty well. So, like, you have to do certain tasks in order to get to the next mission. You need to, the unlocks are fairly linear. So I like that aspect of it. And then it's like when you get them to later areas, if you want to, you can go back to the previous resorts and upgrade them, make them even better. So I think it's paced very well in that regard. Because it does get a whole lot more complex than the later resorts, like the fourth and fifth one. Like the first one is just comfort and decoration. Second one includes hygiene. The third one includes heat. So because it's a winter lodge, so you need to. Actually, is that the third one or fourth one? I think that's the fourth one. Actually, yeah, that's right. The third one incorporates food.
Whatever you're building when it gets cold.
Yeah. Yeah, the third one includes food. You need to actually make a kitchen and a dining area for that one. And so that's a slightly different mechanic as well. And then eventually you got to get heat for the winter lodge. And then the last one is like the big thing is entertainment. You actually have to build like a museum in the resort to entertain the guests. So I like the fact that it's pretty evenly paced. It includes like, okay, you need to do what you previously did, but add this one extra thing. So I think it's paced very well. And the fact that you have to go through these quests, you have to actually succeed at these quests before you can move on. So it's kind of like,
yeah, in that way it's cute and cozy and it's task driven, but it's not as chill as like A Little to the Left. Or
yeah,
or unpacking, like, because you gotta get the stuff done and figure out how to do it, and the clues are figure out who's the right animal that's gonna give you the next clue. Like it drives you pretty well, but it looks like it sometimes you have to go very far.
Sometimes, yeah,
just get the next piece of. Because I with games like this, I don't know. I guess I'm an idiot. I always run into that like. Duck, what the hell now? And I don't like to do homework and go look up what I'm supposed to do next when I get stuck. And I see like, I mean, I was watching a playthrough and I was seeing this guy run into that. All right, quit. I'll come back tomorrow, which is, I mean, it's still a very casual game.
Yeah.
But not the relaxed, just, although you like to relax by being given tasks, something to do on a quest line. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that too, but I will run around and do fishing achievements in World of Warcraft. Like
Yeah.
I get it. But if there's something I can't do because I'm missing a piece, I get frustrated by that.
Yeah, and I can understand that comparison with A Little to the Left and unpacking that, it I mean, the way I see it is there's no time limits on it. It's like nothing is restricted by time. You can just go at your own pace.
Except if your resort will go under and out of business and you'll stop making money if you
Yeah.
screw up.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
No
but-
pressure.
There have to
But,
be some consequences. I mean, they're not real people or anything.
yeah.
I was gonna say it's supposed to be relaxing.
Bad
games and you
reviews from
throw that
Sims.
into the mix.
Yeah. But I again, like you said, I love being given a like this is what I'm striving for. This like give me steps. For at first I was kind of worried that it was going to be a lot more like just kind of an open-ended just go out and make resorts type thing where your only goal is like just to get as much money as possible. I was a little bit worried about that at first, but then seeing that there's actually like a story being played out, that there's missions that you can do, that there's that kind of stuff, that made me feel a lot more comfortable with the game. And I still honestly, even though for this show I've just watched a bunch of gameplay footage of it, I might actually still go back and play it. The biggest gaming hangup I have right now, excuse me, is I feel like there are games I should be playing. Like I still have a lot of stuff to do in World of Warcraft in theory. I still have 4 more characters I need to level up, and then once I level them up, I need to get them geared, and then once I get them geared, I need to do their professions, and all this stuff that I could theoretically do in these other games I feel like I should be playing. Whereas I kind of just want to play something cozy like this, where it's like,
Yeah.
I can just go at my own pace. It's like, I'm not playing against anyone. The only person I need to impress is myself. And it's like, all I gotta do is like figure out, okay, well, this person wants this decor rating in their room. It's like, okay, well, what can I add? Okay, put in a couple plants and everything. It's like, okay, make this guy happy, and then just go from there. So, and again, I got it for free, so it's on my account already, so I have no reason not to play it. But a couple other little tidbits of this that I really appreciate. At first, when you're doing this, you have to do everything manually. So, like booking guests and stuff like that, you have to go to the actual location because, like I said, you get up to 5 locations. So at first you need to go to each location individually, manually book all the guests and everything like that, depending on how many rooms you have and everything. And then like with each of the other mechanics that they add to the resorts, at first you need to do them manually again. So like food, you need to actually go to that resort and cook the food, put it out on the buffet tables and everything like that. You need to make sure that you manage the fuel sources in the heaters and the winter lodge, all of these different things. You need to manage all of those yourself at first. But eventually, once you get further on, you can actually find characters that are willing to help you out and automate all those processes for a cost, but it makes it so that like the first one you get is I believe he's a possum named Gus that you can pay him. You can build a concierge desk in the resorts, and he will automatically book guests into the rooms. He doesn't do it like he just kind of does it randomly. He doesn't like specify. He doesn't like optimize it like you can if you do it manually yourself. But he does it automatically and takes a
Basically,
portion.
you hire staff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's really cool because then you can keep on advancing the story. You can keep on doing these other things manually and such, like just gathering. I'm pretty sure you have to gather the stuff manually regardless of what point you are in the game. But you can still automate some of these processes and just make it easier on yourself. I'm trying to. It's like I noticed the question that you asked in the chat, and I'm trying to think of like what characters I've encountered so far that I think would be one of my favorites. It's difficult to say anyone other than Hank in my mind, and just because he's adorable and wobbly and just
Well, there's
He is
like
goofy,
yeah,
but he's very endearing.
yeah,
there's a little
really is.
mystery to the story
yeah,
with characters you keep running into. That I guess there's an end that I don't know. I guess we don't want to spoil.
yeah.
If
I haven't
we're
gotten to
running
that point
skinny
yet,
people.
but
But I like Julia, the like little goat lady,
yes,
because that's I don't know. I guess it's just how I relate to stuff. Like she's like the
Of course, the
herbs
cook.
and the
Yeah.
ingredients, and then like you make me a cheesecake, I'll come be your chef. Like
yeah,
yeah, I'm that stupid. Like
but overall,
There's
this game,
Margaret.
yeah,
Yeah, I like Margaret.
yeah,
isn't that the mom?
Yes,
yeah.
Mama Bear.
very
I-
sweet to her boy.
I thought
Yeah,
Ipswich was a really funny name.
yep, Ipswich. I'm trying to remember. It was I think the beaver's name is Tony.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. That's the other thing is
think
they
so.
also there's not all the
I'm
characters
thinking of
are
something
animals too. They do have human characters in there as well, like Sabine, which and that's the funny thing is, so like Sabine I think is the only human character that can actually understand what you're saying. And all the other human characters, whenever Hank says something, it just says like and bear noises and stuff like that, or like happy bear noises and things like that. I think it's funny how they indicate.
And Sabine's the park ranger, right?
Yes, yeah. Sabine is the park ranger, and yeah, she can actually understand what Hank is saying. So whenever Hank is talking to her, it actually writes out what he's saying and everything. But otherwise, it's just like bear noises. But I do think it's just. Again, just the whole concept of a bear making a bed and breakfast is like who came up with this
When you
idea?
get like rewards, you get like more clothes for them.
Yes, and that actually like has an effect on the guests. Like when you're just in full bear mode, whenever you go near them, they like start to panic. But as soon as you start putting some clothes on, they're just like, okay, this is fine. Somehow. Because they like just don't recognize him as a bear anymore.
Well, he's walking on two legs. It couldn't possibly be a bear. Or it must be at least be a trained circus bear.
Yeah.
Everything is fine.
Yeah.
We'll let him cook our food.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll make sure that he arranges the rooms well and everything. But it just again just the phrase a bear running a bed and breakfast, I think is funny. It's a funny concept, and I think the execution is so well done. Like all the characters are endearing to some degree, if not a little derpy at times.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of the good.
It's almost like an Adult Swim pitch. Like,
Yeah.
it's so random and just irreverent at such a level to where it's like, well, people are going to laugh at this, right? Well, yeah, they're not going to get it, but they're still going to laugh. Like,
Yeah.
okay, just produce it, have it on the air in like 6 months. There you go.
Yeah.
And that's what's just kind of fun about it. But also, Hank is a very sweet character. Like, you
Yeah.
kind of have fun with him, and he's silly in his own right, but it's almost like not for comedic effect. It's just Hank doing Hank things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's just the kind of character that
There's-
Hank is.
Something about one of the museum items that was balls, and it was like you had to take the balls of somebody, and then you got Gus's balls and had to take them to, or Tony's balls. I think it was Tony's balls. It's one of the things you end up having to put in the museum. Like you take in the balls, and then you get ball bearings, and it was just like, okay.
Yeah. I don't see how that
See?
could be
Adult
confused at
Swim,
all.
There it is.
Yeah. But it also is like as far as the like the part-time gamer aspect of it. Again, we said there's no real time constraints on anything. You can build, deconstruct, and rebuild the resorts however you want, however many times you want. I don't think there's any loss of materials or anything like that for doing deletions of rooms. So you can just kind of experiment with, with how you want to build up your resorts. And even like when you're starting off in the Dinky Shed, most of the stuff is actually literally smaller. So you can actually have more but smaller rooms in there. But eventually, like the beds start getting bigger, they'll take up more room. So you can deconstruct the rooms, make it like go higher quality but less rooms, and still be successful that way. It's just
Getting fancy now.
yeah, fancy in the Dinky Shed, which literally is what it's called. It's they actually have names, like it's the Dinky Shed, the motel. I don't remember what the next one is. I think like a barn house or something like that. Farmhouse.
Farmhouse.
Yeah, and then
And
Winter
then there are
Lodge.
campgrounds. And then the Winter Lodge.
Yeah, I don't remember what the last one's called. But overall, I actually was really enjoying at least watching this game. Like I said, once I get over my mental hang up of playing games that I feel like I need to play, I'm probably going to actually play this game. It's nice, and just to me, having the missions and everything makes it very relaxing. From what I've seen, the direction for figuring out where the quest givers and the objectives and stuff is actually fairly clear. They pretty clearly road sign where things are and everything. I don't I've heard like the described in there that has some kind of a little bit darker elements to it. I don't know exactly what those are. But
in the cave when you get the keys and you go in there, there's like a dragon and there's some stuff. It's way end game though.
okay.
I don't know exactly
Wow,
what happens,
that's
but I know there's
turn.
some kind of dragon looking thing named Vlad.
Okay.
That stuck in my head when I was reading about characters, because I used to have a Chevy Impala and I got a Vlad license plate because it was Vlad the Impala. So
That's amazing.
That is
right?
Yeah, that's actually really good.
That feels like such a turn. I mean, even with the irreverency of this game, it's like, well, he's got a bed and breakfast, and his mom's a bear, really cheering him on. And then there's the shark, but it's cool because it's with this. Oh, by the way, a dragon's there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you look at early in the game with the alligator, right? When he goes in the woods and the alligator's like witchy and stuff, and she's got this polywog that you do meet again later, but
Yeah.
you were sent out to look for someone, and they're with this alligator witch who sends you out to do errands so that she releases the other creature. I don't
Adult
remember
Swim?
which
Okay.
one it was.
All the-
Like, I mean, it's fairy tale-y, but like it's not all sunshine and roses in the deep dark forest.
Yeah.
By the way,
Fairy Tale
Dinky
by Wes
Shed,
Anderson.
Dinky Shed, the motel, farmhouse, ski resort, and then Pinefall Resort
That's
is the last
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. But yeah. So overall,
The clever stuff like the foodie cook one being Julia.
yeah.
That's an obvious nod, right?
Yeah.
And
I
you talk
realize
about
that now.
Pawn Voyage,
Yeah.
right? You talk about Pawn Voyage. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Oh, so overall, this game I think is still just adorable, and to me at least is going to be relaxing. Just like, oh, I can put this lamp here and illuminate this area. This bed looks really good.
Be another Bob Ross narration. and we're gonna put pants on this bear. Just a happy little bear with pants. And it's going to be Wrangler, not Levi.
Yeah.
And here we're gonna have a fun little bathroom. That's right. He's gonna be in charge of the bathroom.
Yeah.
And we know bears crap in the woods all long as there's a bathroom right there. We're gonna put this happy little bathroom.
Yeah. And I do think it's funny the fact that they're just like any kind of game like this, there are ways of cheesing the system. Like in the Dinky Shed, like comfort is a big deal. Is one of the two stats that you have to deal with. And people have hacked the system by just filling entire rooms with just the comfiest footstools that you can find. And just like rocketing the comfort level up to like in the 30s or 40s. Just by like just lining the entire floor with these padded footstools. I think it's hilarious.
I'm not going to kink shame the use case for that.
But it's like, oh, it's. I really appreciate how well paced this game is, how it introduces like one new mechanic at a time with each of the different resorts. It's like you start off having to do these things manually, understand them, what you need to do, and then eventually you're able to automate it at a cost. And I think it's just very well paced, and I like the aesthetic of it. I think the animation style, the drawings of it, I think it actually reminds me a little bit of Don't Starve. Not quite the like the 2D paper
A little
style.
lower pressure, though. Nothing's like hunting you.
Well, no, I mean like
Yeah.
just the art style. I mean just the art style. How everything is like looks hand drawn. It doesn't have that same like papercraft look
That
to it.
sketchy, yeah.
Yeah, but it has like you can see once you like zoom in, you can see you can see like pencil strokes and stuff like that on the characters and the everything. So I love the aesthetic. I love the just how relaxed it is. So this likely will be a game I actually do play. So looking forward to it once I get over my own mental hangups. But
And hopefully they'll make a sequel called Thank You Very Much. Yeah, that's the exact courtesy laugh due for that joke. There you go.
Yeah. So I think that's all I got out of the game.
It's done. Fun, simple. Just, the great thing about this theme is like they're breezy games. Like there's no pressure. It's literally something you can just go goof off with and then be done.
Yeah, exactly. And you can save it anytime you want, come back to it, pretty freely. So for the part-time gamer aspect, you can go in there, do a couple days of whatever, and, at your own pace. So overall, I actually am looking forward to this game. All right. With that, everyone, if you like what you've heard, you'd like to help us out, you can give us a review over on Apple Podcast. You can follow my Twitch and or YouTube channels for the live recordings Sunday nights starting at 9:15 Eastern Standard Time. Or you can become one of our patrons over at patreon.com/ptgcast. If you'd like to contact us, you can with our email, parttimegamers.cast@gmail.com, or you can join our Discord channel. Everyone, thank you for listening. Join us next week for our discussion of Lake with Jess as well in the chat. Saw her streaming this a couple months ago, and it's another just kind of cozy game where literally you're a replacement mail carrier in this small town, like I think in the 90s. And you're just going around delivering mail and talking to people and that kind of stuff. So it's pretty low pressure, pretty cozy game. So we're going to be talking that game with Jess next week. I'm Sean. You can find this show and the rest of my work and links to my socials, including the Discord channel, my Twitch and YouTube channels, and the Apple Podcast listing using the link bit.ly/CI Productions. Ember, where can people find you around the internet?
The easiest thing to do is go to 9of12.com. That's OF12.com. I'm trying to type and talk.
Oh,
That doesn't work. 9of12.com. Find my shit.
that deserves to be on a t-shirt. Theo, where can people find you on the internet?
Making my own cryptocurrency at talesfromthecrypto.com.
That sounds like it should be just like
fake, all of it.
That sounds like it should be a Bitcoin tracking website or something like that.
Yeah, something to that effect.
Yeah.
And I besmirched that great TV series for that crypto joke. Shame on me. I can be found at rabbitandredradio.com. We had an episode yesterday that's up wherever you find your podcast. We talked about the first Sinister movie, which still gives me the boo-boo jeebies. We have one coming up Thursday where I've got kind of dared to watch Sinister 2, which I tried watching once. I got through 8 minutes,
Jeez.
and then it cured my insomnia. But apparently, I have to stay up this time because we're going to talk about Sinister 2.
So when you say it cured your insomnia, does it mean like did it cure your ability to sleep, or did I don't know?
All of the above.
Yeah,
No, it was
okay.
just so. It's a weird sequel. It's one of those. It's like, well, hey, we've got a reason to kind of throw this together again. Let's see what sticks. Kind of sequels.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like it has no connective tissue to the first one. It's just something they could throw together and slap a name on it that actually made money.
Yeah.
So yeah, like in the first 8 minutes, I had nothing for it. So if I make it past minute 9, we'll have a show on Thursday.
Cool.
But was it as jarring as watching Saw and then trying to play a little to the left?
Oh yeah, exactly. That's right up there with me trying to do Barbieheimer. And I actually did it the other way where I watched Oppenheimer first, where for 3 hours you're like, humans are bad, everything we touch turns to poopy, and we're the worst. And then after a break, having lunch, coming back to the movies, and then 2.5 hours of, hey Barbie, and it's like brain didn't know what to do.
Seems
Brain
accurate.
Like
fell
the
asleep,
right way
and then I
around,
think, like,
though.
the last
Yeah.
part of Barbie, I just sat there like, can we just go home?
Oh,
Please.
come on.
I haven't
I had
watched
to
either
watch
of them,
both
so
movies again separately.
Barbie was
Barbie,
great.
Barbie was great. I liked a lot of it. Some stuff I was a little, but that was more like the jokes, not necessarily like the setup. And then Oppenheimer is still, wow, this is a masterpiece of absolute depression.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I haven't watched either of them, so I don't know what. Yeah, words.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right. Until next time, and talking about Lake with Jess. We are the Part-Time Gamers. We are clocking out.